Welcome back to another episode of TriRealHard. On this episode I have to modify my 8-bar front rack for my Diamond Back Ascent, which is my build entry into the Spindatt Trash or Bash competition, as you probably already know. Eric of Spindatt has just released the final update on his channel, so I'll link to that in the description, and there you can see all the builds taking part in this competition. Voting happens this weekend, the 18th of February 2022, and I really appreciate it if you could take just a minute to vote for my build to continue into the final 5. There's going to be 20 cut down to 5 at this point. Going forward in the competition, only 5 people will get through. I really hope you've been enjoying this series that I've been putting together. We're now about 20 episodes into my build, so you can go back and watch through all of the episodes and see exactly what I did. But yeah, today we're cracking on with the front rack. So now it's time to try and cut down these support arms for the rack that go just here onto the fork mounts. I have basically set this to a position that I'm comfortable with and put that last gold lock ring on the fork mount that fits through the fork here and onto the rack. So this is secure, I'm happy with that. I've just been trying to get the level, so when I'm at a point that I feel the bike is straight up and down, it's now showing pretty level on the bubble just here. So I'm ready now to take a hacksaw to these support arms. Yeah, I've been pretty scared about this point. I mean, this rack came all the way from the Netherlands, but yeah, I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and do it, so here we go. So I managed to get quite a nice clean cut on that, so really fingers crossed that it's the right length. Scary, still scary even now. I did leave one extra hole, but I think that's going to be the right position. Fingers crossed. So I just want to show you this fit that I've managed to achieve, because I don't think you're quite going to believe it. I don't really believe it. So this is the cut down piece. You can see it's got a silver end as opposed to a black end for the other one, and this is the bit that fits inside, so that goes in as far as there. The hole is up here and the fork hole is here, so basically it couldn't be more bang on. So yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with that fitting. It's looking good. Also, it might be a little bit too tall, but that would just push the rack up slightly and lift it off the wheel and off the tyre a little bit and provide an extra bit of support to this bracket here. So I'm going to check that with it in this position it fits the same on the other side, and if it does, then I'll cut another one. The last thing I'll need to do is to drill a hole for this hole that's in the internal piece of metal that goes inside the sheath, so I'll need a new hole within the external sheath for it to screw into. But fortunately, very much fortunately, the screwing threads are within this internal rod, so I don't need to worry about there not being any threads or whatever on my hole, because these holes in it that come as stock, they don't have any threads in. Good morning, it's another day here with the bike, and I've got everything mocked up on this rack this morning. So as you can see, these cut down sections are now in place, and yeah, it's looking good. I mean, you've got a sawn unfinished end on the end of it, but I've cut it to exactly the right length, so that really it doesn't even need the hole and the nut that holds it into place, that screws through the outer sheath and into the internal rod, because it won't go down any further. This section that it screws into here is actually wider, so it actually won't go any further down. So that's interesting. Now I'm debating whether I even need to drill a hole in it and potentially affect the structural integrity of the support arm itself. So I'm debating it. I think I might still just drill the one hole, because it's only one hole, if I get the position right. But yeah, it doesn't really need it. I mean, this thing is absolutely solid now. And yeah, the gold locking nut went on. The brake is just about clearing the rack there, which is what I was aiming for, so I could get that position dialed in. But yeah, I think it looks pretty nice, pretty clean at this point. And I'm going to take it all apart again. Well, I am going to take the supporting arms off. But then after that, because I've got this right brake working, here in the UK, the right brake is the front brake. So yeah, if that made anybody wonder out there in the States what I was doing, then you'll see here from my road bike, this is the right hand brake that I'm holding, and you can see the caliper down by my wrist, and there we go, the right brake. Basically because we drive on the other side of the road, so yeah, the brakes are the other way around. So let me just show you this rack from the front. There we go. So that's the rack and the brake set up there. It's looking nice. I'll let you know in a minute whether I decide to drill these holes. So as you can see, the hole is exactly the right size now. It's fitting the bolt in and everything. The bolt goes in, it looks good, but when I try and put the internal bar in, it gets stuck, because inside there where I've drilled, it's made the metal flare. So I'm pretty fortunate that I went and bought this file from B&Q, because I'm going to need it now. So it appears to be clear now, so we're just going to try the internal bar. Yeah. Oh, and the fit's perfect as well. It lines up just with the hole. You see it? Oh, that's ideal. So maybe a little tiny dot of paint needed there, I've just slipped off. But other than that, it fits absolutely immaculately. So now we should be able to screw in one of these little fixing bolts. So let's just do that. Oh, smooth. Nice. And there we have it. Solid. Solid. Good. I guess I've just got to do one more. Thanks for watching another episode of TriRealHard. If you've made it this far, then I really appreciate you watching all the way to the end. And please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to my channel so you can follow all of my bike build content. Voting for the final 5 to continue on in this Spindatt Trasher Bash bike build competition is happening this weekend, the 18th of February 2022. So if you're enjoying my bike build series and you like what I'm doing here, then I'd really appreciate it if you could just take a minute to go to the Spindatt website and vote for me to continue on in this competition. For now though, thanks for watching another episode of TriRealHard, and I'll see you on the next one.